Good morning and welcome to Company 119's The Coffee Cup. My name is Ryan Gilkerson, lead creative here at Company 119, and we want to welcome you to our daily podcast that looks at all things digital marketing. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics right now, which is Instagram. Instagram is something that Company 119 recently joined. We felt that it was time to get into that market and look at that social media platform as a way to expand our digital footprint. And now we want to talk about helping you increase your brand's visibility on Instagram. I was going through an infographic that I found this morning that was talking about some digital marketing trends. It did note that while Facebook has about 2.3 billion users daily, Instagram is now over the 1 billion user mark. So it's not quite as big as Facebook, but it is gaining in popularity. It does have a primarily female audience, but just slightly. It's about 55% female, about 45% male. So there's a demographic there that's kind of unique compared to some of the other social media platforms. And it just is really starting to become something that businesses are finding ways to use and incorporate to increase their brand awareness. So there's a company called Social Drift that is a company that helps you increase your followers on Instagram. It does it organically. It doesn't do it like some of these services where you just get all these phantom users and ghost accounts. It's one that helps you grow organically with your base that you have. But they also post some great blogs on how to use social media platforms like Instagram. And they have a great post, Virtual Assistant John, if you could bring up the title of the post here. They've got a great post on socialdrift.com called 10 Mistakes Most Brands Make when Posting on Instagram. And I thought it was really an interesting article, well put together. I thought that they have some great examples of some things that you can do, or what to avoid, I should say, doing on your Instagram to help you have success. So, Virtual Assistant John, if we could go to the first point they make, which is that brands fail to establish an overarching brand narrative. The example that they use is Nike. Obviously, Nike has been in the news quite a bit over the last couple of days. I think there's one thing that we can all agree on, regardless of how you feel about Nike's current campaign, and that is that Nike does a great job of branding. So if you look at what they showed for Nike here, Nike on their Instagram page focuses on one athlete or one celebrity at a time, with each individual picture. As you can see, there's not confusing images here. It's very clean. They focus on, Kevin Hart, obviously not exactly an athlete, but a celebrity endorsement for sure. And they just show one person per slide. What they do with this is they celebrate the single athlete, and they make it clear that their brand stands for the athlete, not for the leagues, or not for the different teams that they play for, but for the athletes themselves. So Nike does a good job of establishing their brand and telling a narrative through that story. Number two, Virtual Assistant John, if we could show this one as well. People overlook the importance of a good caption. Right here, we've got something from National Geographic. It's a polar bear eating a whale carcass. Sounds delicious, right? Good morning. I hope you're enjoying your breakfast. But the story that's told in the caption is very interesting. It tells the exact story of what's going on in the picture, kind of breaks it down a little bit, and you get a good idea for what's happening. And it's really awesome. It's visual storytelling, but combined with a caption that tells the story as well. Visuals is where it starts. Obviously, you have to have great pictures, but you also want to have the caption express as well. We don't have to go to these next couple here, John, but ignoring Instagram stories is something that companies are doing. At the top of your Instagram feed, if you're not as familiar with Instagram, there's these little stories that kind of scroll through. They can be stills, they can be videos. They're just little snapshots of things that don't show up in your timeline for Instagram, but they give you an opportunity to post several things at once that people can scroll through and take a look at. For our Company 119 Instagram, on your stories, you have a little bit more fun. There's captions that can go on there. You can make boomerangs, which are little clips that repeat themselves every few seconds and make fun little videos. And then there's also little GIFs that you can put on your stories that can be animated. It can be a way to have a lot of fun and enjoy yourself while you're having, telling Instagram stories. A little bit more whimsical potentially than what you have in your timeline, and an opportunity to get more personal with what you're doing. So you don't want to ignore the fact that Instagram stories are a great way to promote. Also, if you're promoting a small business, that's where you see a lot of people that have a swipe up to purchase. So you can actually, tell a story, and then you can have it so that if people swipe up on that story, it could take them right to your e-commerce site, right to your website, right to a blog article, and attach, or I should say transport the person directly to another site as a call to action. So stories are a great way to move people to act on your products. They also tell you to not neglect to look at data. There is now an Instagram analytics tool that is very, very effective. If you have an Instagram for Business account, this analytics tool is going to tell you how many followers you're getting, where you're trending, which of your posts had the most followers, the most comments, the most likes. It'll help you understand when people are visiting your page. It'll help you understand when's the best time to post certain types of activity. And if you use that analytics data, it can really tell you a lot about your users and who's coming to visit your Instagram page. Then there's also a caveat to that is the next point, which is that people are refusing to change their strategy when presented with the data. If you've got Instagram analytics and you've got this powerful tool that's telling you all of these great things about your successful posts, showing you the blueprint for what you've done that's worked, you have to adjust your strategy to reflect that. If you don't use that tool to make changes and adjustments, it's a wasted opportunity for you to expand your social media presence. Another thing that happens that they're warning us against here in this article from Social Drift is that if you have great calls to action on your Instagram, you've got to swipe up to an e-commerce site, you've got a link in your bio that can take people to your website, and then that website is not a good website, it's poorly designed, i.e. it's not mobile friendly, it won't be very successful for Instagram. A lot of people have great Instagram pages, but their website is not designed to be used on mobile devices. It's not optimized for mobile use. So it can be slow. It can appear distorted on a mobile device. The images won't look great, and it just isn't user friendly. So what's the point of having a great social media site and directing traffic back over to your site where they can make a purchase, or where they can schedule something, or where they can interact with you, if that website they're going to doesn't perform well? It just doesn't make much sense. You've got to remember to measure the Instagram influence through the customer lifestyle. I like this too, or life cycle. You've got your marketing automation platforms, your Instagram analytics. You've got a lot of different ways to measure the success of your social media campaigns, but you want to see how they're affecting not only current customers, but prospective customers, people that have done business with you for a long time. What are they getting out of your Instagram? Are they visiting other sites from your Instagram? Are they liking? Are they interacting? Are they getting something out of it? You really need to see that all segments of that customer life cycle with your business are being impacted by your social media. You want to make sure that nobody is excluded from what you've got going on. And then the potential value of influencer marketing can be huge, especially on social media. If you've got other people that do what you do, that are experts in the field that can help you out, if you've got other people that can come in and, like we do on the Coffee Cup, where we have some people from other agencies, for example, that come in and talk and share their expertise. If they're willing to share your Instagram, if they're commenting, if they're liking your Instagram, if they're making appearances in your feed, never underestimate the fact that that can be huge in driving traffic back to your Instagram, and thus driving traffic to your site and helping you expand your business. And then buyer personas. This is another thing that we talk about so often. Anytime you're doing anything with digital marketing, from a display ad to a Google Ads campaign to your social media campaign, you want to think about buyer personas. Who are you talking to? What do they like to see? If it's strictly B2B, are you giving them enough meat on the bone, so to speak? If you're marketing to children, are you making things visual and exciting on Instagram? Who are you talking to? Do you know that customer? Do you know what pages they like to follow on Instagram? What accounts are they taking a look at daily? And do you mimic some of the things that are successful for other people? And then how are you leading? How are you taking your Instagram account to the next step? That all generates from these buyer personas that tell you exactly who you're marketing for. Once you know exactly who you're targeting, all other aspects of digital marketing become easier. And finally, people are not investing in Instagram ads sometimes. Everybody knows about Facebook ads. They've been out a longer time. People like to set up these Facebook campaigns and go with it. Right through your Facebook ad manager, you could choose to invest a certain amount of that money that you're investing in your Facebook ads into Instagram ads. Now, if you're going to have an Instagram ad, you want to make sure that it's very visually appealing. You want to make sure that it looks great because Instagram is strictly visual. If you're going to take the time to make an Instagram ad, make a good caption that goes with it. Make sure you use your hashtags. Hashtags are important to getting you more followers. But put that cohesive package together and then invest in it. Instagram is a great platform for ads. The timeline is very ad friendly. It will tell everybody that's a sponsored ad. You can put a call to action in there so people can learn more, and it can be a really, really effective way to grow your business. So listen, you just learned more about Instagram and avoiding some of the mistakes that are common with businesses that are trying to get their IG presence up before you finish your first cup of coffee. Then your competition will all day. Thanks for joining us on the Coffee Cup.